Hello, hello. Happy month of March. What a way to start our month with a webinar. I love being with you. So we'll just wait a few more minutes till more people come on. Hello, Andrea. Let me know if you, while we're working and while we're discussing our topics today, I'm free to answer any questions. So make sure, hello, Tunde. Make sure to, write questions. And so I'm here to help for you. I'm here live with you to help. Hello, Michaela. Thank you so much for joining us, everyone. I love having us all together. More and more, I see. We'll just wait one more minute because everybody's coming on. Hello, Augusta. Okay, so let's start. Metabolism. Metabolism refers to all the chemical process going on continuously in our bodies. And this allows for life and normal functioning of our entire body, right? So this is what is called homeostasis. This process of our metabolism incorporates digestion, it incorporates our immune system, it incorporates our hormonal system. So all this is together our metabolic system, right? And it helps regulate our metabolism. So, but today we're going to be talking mostly specifically for hormones, okay? And their impact on our health and how we can achieve homeostasis with our amazing, amazing technology. Hello, Soren. Hello, Maria. Factors affecting hormonal disruption, such as electromagnetic smog, diet, lifestyle, processed foods, overeating, not eating correctly, overworking, not sleeping enough, not exercising, desk jobs, not moving around, our age, like teenagers, adolescents, where, hormones are really, up there. PMS, menstruation, the menstrual cycle in general, aging, menopause, all stress is, cortisol levels. All these affect hormonal disruption. And with all this, we can measure and have reactions in our device, right? So all these are factors which, when we go through our software, we can measure the reactivity and we can review and see the causes behind the hormonal disruption. Hormonal disruption is one of the stress factors that we always say that our device measures stress and reduces stress. One of those factors is also hormonal stress, right? So remember, these webinars are mostly for a quick glimpse at various panels and how we can see the possibilities and be creative with our software and how we can use our software on different applications. So these live webinars also give us the chance, to get connected, to have live questions that you may have. We have that possibility. So I'm here to help you for whatever, some of you, I don't know at what level you are. Some of you may be new, may not know, but, just be patient, bear with me. I'm here to help you with whatever you wish, and let's go on. So, hormones. The first thing that we can do, first of all, we have our list here of matrix filters One is hormones, right? Where we see reactions on various hormones that we may have. Now, I put myself here because I know how to read myself and I know what it is, so I can, give you the explanations, right? Hormones. For me, let's see. Ketosteroids made in adrenal glands. So again, the steroids here is referring to cortisol levels. So apparently 152 cortisol levels, high. Now, I don't have bleeding uterine issues and hormones, but something's going on there. Can be due to menopausal, whatever. Okay. Leptin hormones for the sugar regulation. All these are reactions. Now, have in mind, remember that reactions don't necessarily mean high, don't necessarily mean low. Means that they're a reaction. Only with examinations we can know if they're high or low. But knowing me, I know that the cortisol level is up there. So I need to, not so much, it's not over the limit, but it's there, and it's I need to take care of it. I need to take care of it. Hormones. So let's also look at neurotransmitters. Neurotransmitters. Now, what's the difference between neurotransmitters and hormones? Hormones mainly have to do with the endocrine system, whereas neurotransmitters have to do with the neurological. They're both, they're biochemical messengers, okay? But hormones are mainly for the endocrine system, whereas neurotransmitters are for the neurological systems. They do overlap. There are some biochemical messengers that are both in hormones and considered also neurotransmitters. See, these are very close, and they're both systems, they tie in together, and they're very similar. So, just have that in mind, but that's the difference. And neurotransmitters work much quicker on us because of the fact that they work on through the neurological systems and through the neurons electrically, whereas hormones work through the endocrine system, through the bloodstream, and a little bit slower. Okay, those are the two main differences. Okay, so issues that can come from high cortisol or hormonal disruption can be osteoporosis, glucose and sugar regulation, and diabetes, muscle atrophy or muscle weakness, mood, depression, sadness, and what have you, insomnia, inflammatory response in general. Okay, so these are all issues and much more. Cortisol also has the Cushing syndrome. So, there's different issues that when a person comes to you that you have to see what the main cause is. Is it nutritional issue? Is it a digestive issue? Is it a hormonal issue? Is it a metabolic issue in general? So let's see, in general, for me, I don't have osteoporosis. I don't think I have. Let's take a look. Osteoporosis. No, I don't have, and I know I don't have. Okay, but a yellow reaction of 99 is coming up, a little bit of bone pain, joint pain, maybe osteoporosis. It's giving me a remedy for me to help me. Okay, probably because I am in menopause, so to help me in general, because osteoporosis is hormone related. Okay, but I don't have that issue. Let's take a look at diabetes or sugar regulation in general because of my weight gain. Now here I have issues, and they are in the red. Okay, stabilized diabetes and stabilized blood sugar. Okay, I'm not over the limit. I don't need to do insulin or whatever. But, I'm just taking care of my diet at this point. But let's, kind of like look into the neurotransmitters, let's say, and do a test against the stabilized sugar and diabetes issue, against the neurotransmitters. And let's see what'll come up. Hormone for pain. Okay, there is some pain. Bone for calcium, etc. Okay, fatty acid cause and insulin. There we go. Treating. So although cortisol didn't come up. Oops. What did I do? One moment. Okay. Cortisol didn't come up, and I was waiting for cortisol to come up, but it didn't come up. It's more for insulin. Maybe there is an insulin issue, so maybe I have to look more at the insulin issue. Let's do it a different way. Let's go to sugar. Sometimes if you don't get the right information, maybe you just need to dig a little deeper. Search, and let's go to... Okay, here we can see the enzyme deficiency for pancreatic disease, perhaps, or diabetes. I was looking for glucose. Actually, I was looking for the actual glucose here, glucose sugar regulation. And it's in the 90s, so why not? I'll do this one and return to main. And no, let's go to neurotransmitters again, or maybe hormones. I'm going to go to hormones this time. And let's see, test and treat. So this is interesting. So it's giving me Omegaplex for omega to help me with the hormone and the circulation. And I need some, help here with the thymus, lymph, and what have you. But the serotonin is coming up. So serotonin is an antidote for cortisol. And that's what I was going to go into later on as well. There are certain hormones that I'll be going over in just a bit that are anti-stress hormones. And one of that is serotonin. So it's giving me that. So again, it's telling me backwards that there's stress involved and I need to have serotonin. Okay, so, the software is always trying to communicate with you and trying to give you a story behind the issue. Okay, so, that's one way of working. So again, this is how we dig deeper. Going deeper, testing, doing individual reactions, and going deeper. I have, let's say, I have people with muscular atrophy and paralysis and what have you. Those are also issues of muscle weakness, okay, going into cortisol levels and hormonal levels, okay? Yeah. We all know that cortisol is the primary stress hormone. It increases sugar glucose in the blood. It enhances the brain's use of the glucose. So, cortisol is not always a bad thing. It's always a matter of being balanced. Okay, so we need our cortisol to be balanced because that's what gives us the energy that we need to our brain, the glucose. It shows us how we can use the glucose more correctly. Okay, and adrenaline is that hormone that is the fight or flight hormone that makes us either run or, gives us that energy to fight. Okay, that's what the adrenaline does. So, first when there's a stressful situation, the adrenaline kicks in, and when it's at a second step, cortisol kicks in. Okay, so that the cortisol gives the brain the energy and the glucose, to continue. fighting. Okay, that's how our body is working. So, but the thing is that when cortisol is overworking, that's when we're gaining that weight, okay, or the blood pressure starts rising, or issues with the bones and osteoporosis comes in. Also, bruises. Bruises is also a factor of high cortisol. Purplish stretch marks, and the others I've already mentioned. Okay, so one of the main reasons and one of the main startup processes that I've taught my students in the technician course is starting with balancing sympathetic and parasympathetic. And the reason for that is, this is in the universal panel, biofeedback therapy panel. One of the reasons, and the basic reason, starting up this way is when you start up this way, you warm up the client in the sense that you lower their cortisol level. You start with the vagus nerve system, then you're balancing the sympathetic and balancing the parasympathetic. And through this method, you're lowering adrenal action, the fight or flight, you're lowering cortisol levels, okay? So when you do this within the first few minutes that you have your client hooked on, you're immediately lowering that stress factor. So anything that you do thereon by working their hormones, by working their metabolic issues, by working their digestive and what have you, they're immediately taking in that therapy. Okay, working the parasympathetic immediately lowers cortisol level. Okay, it relaxes the body from stress and danger, and it helps in general. The parasympathetic stabilization sustains the processes like digestion, your immune system, etc. So it's very important to be in a de-stressed mood. Okay. Other ways that you can tell a person to help with lowering and stabilizing their parasympathetic, again, is mild exercise daily. Breathing deeply from the diaphragm and getting that oxygenation. We have different areas in our software that we can work oxygenation. That again lowers the cortisol levels and stabilizes parasympathetic system. Nature walks, great. Meditation, massages. I love massages. Playing with animals and children, yoga, cuddling up with loved ones. That cuddling up with your loved ones always increases oxytocin. It's the bonding hormone, and that again balances and stabilizes the parasympathetic. And avoiding, in general, negative thoughts and concentrating on positive thoughts. All this helps on a daily level to balance the parasympathetic and lower cortisol. That's why when I usually start this way, people, at this point, they fall asleep. I've already stopped talking with them. When I go to this panel, I have already stopped talking and they just fade away. As I said, what I'm doing now, the sympathetic stabilization, that lowers the fight or flight response, the adrenaline that is, okay? And then we do the parasympathetic to lower the cortisol. You'll notice the sympathetic, I only got 62%. I go on to the next one and I do a second round, making sure that each button I press will have a rectification of over 85. Whatever questions you have, please Ask me. You have me here now. Okay. So yeah, while we're working here, supposedly we've gone already to our risk panel and we've loaded, our top risks. I didn't do that for now for our classroom purposes. But yeah, I would go here and I would go to the endocrine and load the adrenal, load the hypothalamus, load the pineal and the pituitary. Okay, the pituitary activates the ACTH, okay, which will then activate the cortisol in the adrenals. Everything is a chain reaction in our body. So these are very important to do. So I got an 88 on the parasympathetic. Let's do one more, the vagus, and then the sympathetic to get them all up there. What else can we put here? I would put the digestive, the liver and the pancreas, since my issues was also the sugar regulation, the lymphatics, there we go, and kidneys. Therapies, anti-inflammation, definitely, and relaxation, okay? Anxiety, addiction. Okay. Let's go to disease dictionary, see what other hormonal things. Let's do an unconscious choice. Glossopharyngeal nerve disorders. Okay, to help in my clear speaking. Sometimes I do get tongue-tied. Okay, and it could be without me knowing a nerve disorder. Okay, let's do it. I like to always respect what my unconscious wants. Okay, so I got 100 on my vagus. Let's do sympathetic one last time and we'll proceed. 24 minutes. Okay, so long-term and treat and let that run. And let's do the iridology as well. And brain, do the entire neurological system to lower that stress level. Endocrine, for adrenals, hypothalamus, for the entire system. You'll notice the pancreas is here as well. Okay, so I got 100 there. Let's move on. Okay, and normally I would do, let's do it. Let's do it. Everything's important. Okay, let's look in the electroacupuncture since, oh, look, it told us to do also the allergy treatment. Now that's quite away, but for it to say to do also for the top therapy, allergy therapy and automeridian, definitely an autoimmune response is coming up, and there's probably some kind of allergic reaction. So before I do anything here, let's go back. I'm going back. And let's mental therapy to treat brain fatigue. Okay. So, the device is always trying to tell you a story. When you're closing a panel and your cursor lies on a specific item, it's telling you a story. So that needs to be done. Okay. I would normally do a treat here too. But let's do the allosodes since we're here and it told us to do it. I like to follow the unconscious because for some reason it's telling us this. Now look what it's telling us. My sugar reactivity, even though the sugar reaction, the glucose and everything, it's stress related. It's not so much allergic reaction. It's stress related because I've cut out the sugar I don't eat sugar. Whatever sugar I have is from my fruit. I do eat fruit, but the sugar is out. Now, mold and dust does bother me. It does create pollen. We're getting into soon that season. Okay, sensitivity to odors and animal hair. Well, I do have my fur babies. Okay, so something's going on there. Salmon, warfarin, phenols, olive, toxins, industrial, dust, construction solvents. Living in the city, you get all sorts of things. So, you like to double click on everything. Just lowering your reactions in general will help in the digestive process, in the metabolic process, lower that autoimmune response and the inflammatory response. So let's put whatever we can here and lower that response and desensitizing me to these chemical reactions in my environment to lower the stress level. Okay? Because these probably also play a role in the immune and the hormonal issues. Because look here, when we put glucose, the more you're looking in and deepening your awareness on the findings that you're getting, the pieces of the puzzles kind of fit. Here, it gave us monastery of herbs, thymus, lymph, tissue support. So lymph and the thymus is a part of the immune system. So I have some kind of autoimmune issue going on concerning the glucose. Okay, could be a chemical response. I saw mostly chemicals and my environment, not so much what I'm eating. Okay, so that's interesting. So I need to open up my lymph and help with that. And then, of course, the pituitary adrenal stress management did come up, and so did the serotonin. All makes sense. Okay, 79%. I would do it over and over again. I'm not going to do it now. I will do it over and over again until the rectification is over 85. Remember, that's the difference between bioresonance and biofeedback and our devices, because our devices have that cybernetic loop that we're always sending and measuring at the same time. So we always know how we're doing. And that's the amazing thing with our device, right? But I only went 79%, but I am going to continue close. And let's go to the hyperreactant therapy and load allosode report items, those items that I loaded, and enter body areas affected. Hormones, cortisol, parasympathetic, sympathetic nervous system. Okay, brain. Okay, all allergic symptoms, weight gain, sugar regulation, or glucose, sugar regulation. I'll put diabetes, even though I don't have diabetes, but I'll put it because maybe I'm pre, okay? So due to the aging factor, etc. But I'm working on that. Okay, so I click on everything and histamine cascade, and let's, I usually put 3 here, but I'm just going to leave it at 0. Remember, this is extension of time. So you extend the time more than what it usually does by either an additional 1 minute, an additional 3 minutes. Okay, I'm just going to do the desensitization as it does, so I don't take too much time. And, remember, our piggyback programs are those programs and are used to enhance the main therapy that you're doing. So since I'm doing allergy treatment, I'll do the allergy here. And I put inflammation already. Okay. I can do immune stim as well. It takes a little while, this video to load. I'll put for acupuncture allergy as well, and the hormonal, and we'll see what else will be needed. Hello, for those of you who are still coming on and are a little bit later. Just mentioning here that whatever questions you have, this is our live session, and I'd love to receive questions from you to help you. This is a perfect opportunity since we're live. So it's interesting how with our topic today, it did come up, metabolic error, right? Remember what I said in the beginning. A metabolism is a combination of digestion, immune, and hormonal reaction. Okay, so a disruption in the metabolic, disrupts everything. So, and homeostasis in general. So just by this indication, I know that I do have to work the hormones, I do have to work the autoimmune issues, and I do have to work digestion as well. Okay, and digestion also is part of, the sugar regulation issues and what have you. But as I see it, as we tested from the beginning, it's all a matter of stress here. So, okay, I'm not going to do it again, but I usually do it over and over again till we get a good rectification of over 85. Okay, now we're ready to do the electroacupuncture, and let's put hormones. Or, no. Yeah, I'll put hormones for now. And a second time, I'll put sugar regulation and see what electroacupuncture meridians it'll give. For now, I'll put hormones and which meridians I need to work on for my hormones, or which meridians are affected by my hormones, let's say, test and treat. Okay, so the meridians that are affected by my hormones is my lymph meridian. Okay, that's probably from the chemicals and the allergic reactions that I'm having from my environment. Lung meridian. Remember what we said about oxygenation. Oxygenation is very important for reducing cortisol levels. Okay, cannot fix lymph meridian. So what I usually do, I usually go here to my body viewer, and whatever I can't fix in the front, I'll go in the background in my piggybacks and go here to lymph and let that run so I can support my lymph channel. Okay, lung meridian. So as I said, oxygenation and deep breathing through the diaphragm reduces and stabilizes, let's say, the parasympathetic nervous system and reduces cortisol. So doing that, we need to work with a lung meridian, and that's corrected. Whatever is yellow and slightly weak and green and is greatly weak, that is what we focus on for the meridians. So large intestine. The white is greatly improved. So there was an issue there. It caught an issue on the white one, let's say for the allergy meridian, but it was corrected while it was passing through. So that's okay, corrected. Let's do the neurological. Corrected. Okay, allergy I don't need to do. Circulation, sex. Corrected. Hormonal. Which is also working the hormonal. Either way, my hormones are affecting my hormonal meridian. Corrected. Heart meridian, center of emotions, right? Corrected. Pancreas. Cannot fix pancreas meridian. So what I would do is go here and go to the pancreas meridian and let that run. Okay. To support my pancreas meridian. Spleen meridian. Cannot fix spleen meridian. So same logic, spleen, okay, and the liver. Corrected. So with the same logic, I can also do, let's say, either diabetes or sugar regulation. If a person had, osteoporosis, I will do the same that here. Now, have in mind that hormones, as is, cortisol level. Cortisol is the major stress hormone that does affect so many things, just like it affects, the bone mass, etc. But testosterone, low testosterone in men also affects bone mass. Okay, and high cortisol has an invertive relationship to testosterone. So if a person gets, there's high cortisol levels, the testosterone usually falls. Okay, so because I've seen men also have issues with osteoporosis, so that is also an issue. Testosterone also contributes to fatty, weight gain, and loss of muscle mass, and what have you. Of course, also the sexual function as well. So just tidbits I'm sharing with you for knowledge. Okay, so you can do sugar regulation, you can do osteoporosis and what have you, and do the same thing and get more information. Okay, now close. And normally I would end with the auto scaler. I'm not going to do it now. No need to do it now. Most of you already know that, and it won't give us, well, it will give us information, because the rectification here, if you get a low rectification, you know that there's an issue in that part. So having said that, if let's say the brow chakra is not rectified as it should, that's where the cortisol is, it's from the pituitary, and the hormones from the endocrine system appear, and it's not so much the adrenals. So either or these two would be low in the rectification. Let me show you. I know I want to show you so many things, and that's why I say, well, should I skip this? Shouldn't I skip this? But every information does count, and it does give us information. So let me just go over this with you. Remember to let me know if you have any questions. So as part of the startup process, the autoscaler is a very important also process, because it balances your whole entire system. Okay, so, from head to toe, balancing all the chakras and putting them in line and clearing, again, helping for homeostasis. While also clearing any energetics that may be around there, embedded traumas or what have you. So lo and behold, look, the crown harmonics, total harmonic system 73, that is quite low. The brain, the pituitary pineal is at 85, so that was good. Kidneys, though, and the grounding is kind of low, and borderline 85 we want, it was 84, the adrenals for the cortisol, okay? The other items were good, okay? And future projection, worries about the future. When this rectification is low, it means that, you know, a person is worrying about the future. What if this, what if that, worrying in general, okay? Could be. Okay, so what we usually do is just do a quick, you know, rectification on those chakras that need a little bit more work, 96%. Let's go to the adrenals here, the splenic chakra. Get that up higher. Okay, we got it at 96. The kidneys and the sex organs, because remember, because I'm in the menopausal phase. Okay, so you know the sex organs there and the hormones, they're lessening for me, so that is logical. Okay, and I need more grounding there to help me there. And let's go to the future projection. And 90. Great. I didn't do the auto frequency therapy, but because I want to show you other things. Okay, this is the auto rife, which is really good, and it would be interesting to see which ones are not, you know, corrected, and which where there is a polarity problem, it'll show us. And I work the same way. If there's a polarity problem somewhere and it can't be corrected, I would put it back in the organ system here, in the organs, and support whatever organ needs more support that can't be corrected on this. Okay, so I work the same way. Let's close this, and we can close here, and we can close since we did this. And what I would do now, since I want to work on serotonin and the stress, okay, where did my cursor landed? On deep detox of inherited and acquired miasmatic conditions. Whoa. Okay, so either DNA or miasms I have to work, and I needed to do a deep detox there. But that's interesting that came up. Okay, so let's show the info report. And what I want to do now is a little cocktail. Let's remove the info. Oh, I want to show, and I want to empty the info. Okay. And I want to do a little cocktail of those feel-good hormones. I know there's also a feel-good therapy that's already ready, but I want to show you how you can do a little cocktail as well. Okay, so search your items and let's do the anti-stress hormones and the cocktail of anti-stress hormones. Oxytocin. Okay, it's the bonding hormone. Okay, it's the love hormone, it's the bonding hormone. It promotes trust, empathy, it lowers cortisol, it lowers blood pressure. Okay. And usually when, you know, you cuddle up with someone, when there's affection, oxytocin level increases. When you talk with people, oxytocin, when you talk with loved ones, oxytocin increases more than when you just message them. Have that in mind too. Okay. They've measured babies and mothers. They have the highest oxytocin level when the mother is breastfeeding the child, and you know they're looking into each other's eyes. That's the highest amount of oxytocin they've ever measured between the mother and the baby. Okay, dopamine. Dopamine hormone. Dopamine is the feel-good neurotransmitter, okay? And it's an important part of your brain. It's the reward system, the dopamine. Serotonin. Serotonin, happiness hormone. Serotonin regulates mood, sleep, appetite, digestion, even learning ability, okay, and memory. Okay, in a lot of medications that, neurologists give or psychiatrists give to their patients, there's a lot of serotonin in those, chemically made. Endorphins, also. Endorphins, okay. Endorphins are for pain regulation, okay? So it's a natural painkiller. Okay. Other feel-good items that you can put here is tryptophan. It's an amino acid, okay, that helps with mood control and helps with lowering cortisol, because tryptophan helps increase serotonin. Okay, so it's a chain reaction, right? Tryptophan. And probiotics, when you give probiotic also to people, it helps with serotonin and dopamine levels as well, since they're working with digestive systems. So let's give a probiotic here, and let's also give some tyrosine. Okay, tyrosine. There it is, an enzyme. Tyrosine is actually an amino acid. Here it has also, I wanted to put the amino acid, the tyrosine, because that helps with the dopamine. Okay, and also some green tea. Green tea also helps with their serotonin and dopamine. Green tea, we have some green tea in this remedy here. So we have put 8 items. They usually say if you want to do a cocktail therapy for a person, put up to 8 items. Okay, so that way they can have, don't overload the cocktail. Okay, so what you do is load, and you can do a quick zap, which is just, a couple of seconds, or you can do a 3-minute or a 9-minute. I'll do a custom time for 1 minute. You can do up to even 15 minutes. Okay, I'm going to do a 1 minute. And since I've loaded it, zap. So I am sending all these beautiful remedies and hormones, activating these hormones to lower the cortisol level and their happiness hormones. Okay, so that's how you make your cocktail. You can also put a bottle of water on your test tray and activate that with all this. Okay, and that way they can take it home. It's like taking their therapy home with them. Okay, other ways in order to manage stress and increase, the happiness hormones is getting enough sleep. Sleep is very, very important. If someone comes to you with a long list of problems and sleep is one of them, that's the first thing you need to rectify, because, it's not only what you're doing with them here, but they need to be sleeping every day. Otherwise, you won't get anywhere. Sleep is very, very important. Sleep is therapeutic. Sleep is where you get, you reset. It's your reset. It's like closing your laptop and reopening it. It cleans everything. It detoxes you. Okay, so we got a rectification, a zap rectification of 67, which is great. Not great, it's so-so. I would want more, but I'm not going to do it now for time purposes. What else can we do? Let's go to NLP. and go to mental factors and emotional chart. Okay. And let's, you can show your emotions and neurological chart. People love charts. Okay. They love to take home their charts. You can print it, you can print screen that and send it to them. Okay, obsessive thought, a lot of thoughts. Maybe it's the thoughts about the future. Who knows? Sensuality. I want to be more sensual. Who knows? Worry. That's the future that was coming up in the chakras that we were doing, ESP. Yeah, because I do have that, extrasensory perception. I do have a feeling, and maybe that's the worrying. Self-doubt, delusion, sadness, and anger. I don't feel sad and I don't feel anger either, but for some reason it's coming up. Okay, and this can be related to the cortisol and the sugar regulation, because when my sugar does drop, I do get maybe sensitive and angry easily, because maybe that is the issue. I don't feel anger in general, but when the sugar, that is an issue. Okay, so that can be logical. Okay, let's go to the neurotransmitters and see what's going on there. Okay, you can see the highest items here written too, but you can see it also in the chart. So vasopressin also is a blood pressure regulator. Vasopressin is also an important item to load as well. If a person, if you know that, they have high blood pressure and we need to regulate, the kidneys and get rid of that, the lymph, open up the lymph. So the vasopressin is important for me. That's what it's coming up. And the second one is the morphine. I'm not in pain, but for that to come up, maybe I'm about to get a headache, because, that has to do with that. Histamine, okay, for allergy control. Well, we worked on that. Cholestyramine, that is for the gallbladder, and the stomach hormone stimulates the gallbladder, okay, and also regulates depression from there. Okay, so that is interesting that that's coming up at all. And there is the cortisol 113. Okay, so we can, do treatments here, treat top 100s and what have you. I'm not going to do it now, but you get a rectification, and you do it over and over again till the rectification is at a good level. Or if you get at least all these items below 100, you can do it over and over again. Other ways that you can work this is also through here. If we double click on the top items, let's say, I like to do this as well. It's also a deep way, loading everything that's over 100. Okay. And doing 10-second zap of neurotransmitters. So as I said before, sleep, for managing stress, getting outside, nature walks, like I said earlier, exercising, very, very important, because exercising increases dopamine, it increases serotonin, helps you feel better. Laugh therapy, very important, because if you do laugh therapy, it's from the diaphragm here and increases the oxygenation, very important. 51, so let's do it again. Cooking and enjoying a meal with a friend, I like that one too. And of course, supplementation, but you need to be careful with the supplementation in case they're taking any kind of medication. Beware. Also, always make sure that supplements don't have adverse effects with medication that they may be taking. Okay, so 48%. So you see that I need work here. I would do this over and over again till we get a good rectification. Okay. Second step, after doing that, I'd like to balance the neuropeptides, stimulate the neuropeptides, and do a neural net stabilization. This helps with the neurotransmitters and the peptides and hormonal balance. I would do all three of them till I get a good rectification. And closing this, I would go directly to hormone streaming. Hormone streaming automatically balances hormones that you want, that you need unconsciously, but also takes into consideration those hormones and neurotransmitters that you loaded up there. So these two therapies are connected. Okay, so cortisol was in that list, so was testosterone and the other vasopressin and what have you. So all really good hormones to help balance me. Hormone streaming is a deep therapy, an AFE autofocus emphasis therapy, working even deeper. So, if a person has, along with their when you're working on somebody, of course, everybody, there's not only one diagnosis. We're a multitude of diagnoses, right? So, although we're focusing on the hormones, if a person, as I said before, has insomnia issues, you can also work on relaxation and look into their insomnia issues to try to help them. Try to investigate why they have insomnia, how they're sleeping, in what situation in their room. Is there a Wi-Fi next to them? Is there electromagnetic smog? Like I said before, there are so many factors involved in hormonal disruption. And the electromagnetic smog, like I said in the beginning, is one of the biggest factors affecting our hormones. And it's dangerous because it's invisible. We don't see it, right? But we can measure it. Like here in our Matrix Explorer, while this is working, let's take a look on EMF and see if something comes up. No. Radiation. Okay, so there are some items in the matrix coming up under radiation, computer and monitor radiation effect, over 90s, plutonium. Okay. It's giving me some remedies for radiation exposure. So there are some issues here. Electromagnetic. No. How about geopathic stress? Geopathic. Okay. There we go. The Zen Georgie also affects blood sugar disturbing energies. There we go. Watercross, here where my office is and my home office is, there are watercross. I know that there are watercross geopathic stress under, because they used to be like rivers around here. So it could be that too. That's coming up. So, okay, that's ways that you can see and investigate. That's the great thing with that we have the Matrix Explorer, The Matrix Explorer is so useful while you're working, and you're not idle. You can still explore things while you're working here in front. Okay, that's the hormone streaming. Other ways that you can address hormonal issues, okay, is also through aging. Let's go to aging. And we see what we can see here what hormones is disturbed or disrupted. Okay, so we can see melatonin. Melatonin is a hormone excreted from the pineal gland, and we see that it's reacting. Okay, so we need to work on that. Possibly I am getting sleep, but maybe I'm not getting quality sleep. Could be. Growth hormone also have to do with maybe it's the sleeping time. Maybe I need to sleep a little earlier to have more growth hormone. Messenger RNA is coming up, some fatty acid remedy, emotional tension, virus here, collagen. Now, collagen, collagen is reacting. Maybe I need more elastin, I need more collagen. But that also is, in effect, an issue of estrogen. So it could be due to the menopause and what have you there. Okay, so, you can understand what's going on when when you see these things. Thymus hormone, there we go with the thymus. Remember down here with the thymus? And the autoimmune, and the allergy that came up in the beginning. So, again, cortisol levels. Okay, so we can do therapy. We can double click anything that you want. You can go deeper into anti-aging pulse, okay, therapies. Okay, another very useful panel is the muscular re-education for athletes. We are all athletes in life, remember? So it's not only for athletes, but it's for all of us. And you can see the hormones that are reacting here. TSH hormone, which the TSH hormone is part of the endocrine system here, and the progesterone there is reacting. Acetylcholine for the digestive system, and there the T3 for the thyroid as well. So you can also see the other reactions as well as you toggle your cursor on top of each hormone and what's going on. So you can, check which hormones you want to work on and stabilize your hormones. I like to check on whatever is either chronically or acutely reacting. Okay, what's the difference between this? Cortisol decrease and cortisol increase has to do with the ACTH and the adrenals. Okay, so there's an issue for both of them, so I need to get a balance between them. This is red, so I'll do it. I'll choose that one, the growth hormone, testosterone, estrogen, and progesterone. Okay, and just stabilize them. And you can do it for a minute. Okay, and while I'm here, I would also do the oxygenation stimulation. What did we say in the beginning? That oxygenation, deep breathing, helps with lowering cortisol levels, okay, and homeostasis. So oxygenation is one of the building blocks of good health. and is also one of the building blocks in our whole biochemistry to live well and live healthy. So oxygenation is very important. So in general, when we're also, I know my focus today was on me and for, let's say, sugar regulation and diabetes and what have pre-diabetes, but there's so many issues for hormonal issues. And here, when we're in the muscular re-education for athletes, you can do hormones for healing and healing injuries too, right? Human growth hormone is very important for healing injuries. Insulin is also, but insulin is not here, but testosterone, estrogen, those all have healing injuries effect. Okay. Oxytocin and vasopressin also have healing injury effect. And so does the cortisol. Okay. And the cortisol, of course. Okay. Because by increasing the sugar level with the cortisol, sugar goes to the area of the injury and it helps heal. Okay. So these are factors involved for injury and wound healing as well, especially in the first stages of healing. Okay, so, and again, here also you can work, for, the reproductive system through the luteinizing hormone and what have you. Okay. Having said that, sports injury here, these are for injuries, mostly for injuries, but you can also reduce cortisol levels through here. You can describe injury fully, just put stress in general. And by doing anti-inflammation and the injuries here, you reduce the anti-inflammatory, that response, the inflammatory response that you're getting from the high cortisol. So you can also do it from here. Okay. The next and very important panel, again, for the hormones and the metabolic system, is the nutritional profile. I usually do like to go first through the female problems, or if it's male, because I put myself, and that's why it shows female, it would be male problems. You should know. Work those, hormone balance, ovary balance, and other conflicts. Caffeine doesn't suit me. I only drink 1 coffee a day, and just out of habit. So apparently, it's not doing me good. Okay. And these are issues of my hormonal imbalance. So it's giving me indications of what's going on here. And I have to take care of my bones, the allergies, oxidation, and the DNA. Okay, so I would do the hormone balance, the ovary balance, the stress and cortisol, definitely. Okay, see what's going on here. Do the adrenal balance till you get a good rectification. And after I do that, I think it's more logical thereon to go into the digestion, because by stabilizing your hormones, your digestive process and rectification will be easier. And I think it will, have more effect. Okay, by doing, this is the protein digestion. Okay, the carbohydrate, the fat digestion, and triglycerides have to do with the sugar regulation as well, and cortisol. General digestion. I have to chew better. When mouth comes up, it has to do with when reactive to it's that maybe I'm not chewing as I should. I'm eating too fast because I'm always in a rush. Okay, so yeah. Okay, so that's how I would work. And at the end, you can combine everything together and do the nutri-enzyme hormone stabilization. Okay. Any questions? I didn't have any questions. Any comments? Any questions now that you have me live? Well, that's what I wanted to, I just wanted, those are the things that I wanted to cover for hormone regulation and how we have this amazing technology to balance all this. Okay. Now, have in mind that we also have programs like the home use programs. Thank you. Thank you so much. We have the weight loss through biofeedback, which suppresses appetite, works on cortisol levels, on hormonal levels. The automated programs have built in what is needed to be done for, let's say, the weight loss biofeedback. Okay. I mean, you can also do weight loss biofeedback. Overall wellness, mental, okay, anti-aging, because it's always the aging process that also affects all hormones. Okay. Inflammation for the anti-inflammation, emotional trauma to reduce that stress and cortisol. General stress reduction also addresses cortisol levels. Okay, reduce negative emotions. Meditation, reducing cortisol. Okay. I love doing the Aphrodite or the Apollon. The Aphrodite, though, has also the environmental. No, even though, okay, Aphrodite is more for the females, Apollon is more for the males. But, because they're like the environmental stressors are not in the Apollon, you can always do Aphrodite on males too. It's not going to do anything. But the environmental stressors are great because you address whatever environmental issues there is, external environmental, whether it be chemical, pollution, energetic, stress from the environment. Okay, this is one of the only areas that you can address environmental stressors with in your program. Okay. And of course, weight management is also for hormones, etc. Okay, in biofeedback systemic, there's also oxygenation, which is great for lowering cortisol levels. Okay. All the stressors and relaxation do lower cortisol levels. And of course, we have the endocrine system here. Just making sure. There's Corpus callosum helps with homeostasis as well. Very important. And here we have metabolic repair. Okay? Those are all the areas that we can address hormones, but there's always more. Being creative and doing other ways. Okay, so there's always more to learn. Send us an email if you wish our next topic on any specific item you want me to go over. I love your ideas. I'm open to all your ideas, so we can arrange, within the next month, another webinar. Okay? Sending you lots of love. Have a beautiful month of March, and see you soon again. Thank you very much for being part of the webinar.